Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Hunkydory Crafts, I have the beautiful Fancy Edge card blanks. They come in this huge pack. You're getting 32 cards plus the coordinating envelopes. This is what they look like when you just sort of evacuate all the die cuts around them. They just punch them out. So beautiful. Look at this gorgeous card. And then when you decorate it, it looks like this. So fun to ink these edges, and Debbie added a few extra surprises on her cards. I can't wait to show you. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer could win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, so let's give you the measurements of these. So the envelopes are 7 by 7, and the card is just slightly smaller than that. It's like 6 7/8 inch square, okay? So yeah, this is a pretty standard size for the UK, so if you're in America and you're worried about mailing this because of the size, hand deliver it. You know, about half my cards are hand delivered, so put it in the package you're mailing off or hand deliver it. There you go. Let's take a look at these. There is several different shapes. So we've got the butterfly, we've got flowers, we've got hearts, and we've got stars. So you've already seen the butterfly ones. So here are the star shapes. Okay, I'm not going to evacuate these because you are going to see them on the actual cards. And then the heart shapes. And where are the flowers? Here are the flower shapes right there. So you just take these and you're just punching off this whole surround. Oops, I've got 2 of these on here. And then you just punch these out just like this. And I just kind of hold on to the piece that I'm punching out, and they just go like that. All right, and then the envelopes, as you can see, nice big 7 by 7 envelopes. All right, so let's move this out of the way and play cards. So on this one, you guys, I'm going to first tell you what I put on it, and then I'll tell you about the giveaway. So I covered my card front just slightly smaller than this area right here. And so I can tell you that this floral shape right here is 4 7/8 by 6 3/4. That's a pretty standard size if you want to cover the front here and leave a little bit of a white edge border. And then on the inside, once again, just did that a little bit smaller than the whole card. And so this is like 6 3/4 of an inch square right here. Then I inked the edges before gluing them on with khaki ink and used my little applicator tool. Here we go. So around this white floral and then around this green script, okay? Then glued this one to the front, went ahead and just glued this one to the back. And then you guys, you'll notice right here, I've got some beautiful plum glitter cardstock. This comes in a multi-pack, and Debbie and I both used it on a card. It's absolutely gorgeous. And these right here are cutouts. They're like little card toppers that we have. Come on, come on, come on. Here we go. From Whispering Floral's 12 by 12 patterned cardstock. There are these little guys right here that you cut out. I'm going to show you an example of those on another card. But when you cut them out and ink the edges of those, they fit just perfectly right here on this front portion. We did that several times. This is also a cutout from the greetings, and then I just cut that out and foam taped that to this piece right here. Then I've got all these lovely little butterflies. These are gold pearl butterfly stickers. Love those, dazzles. And then I used some fuchsia little jewel dazzle stickers just around the florals right here. All right, and then I'm going to show you how we inked those. Took a scrap of the paper that I used on the front and inked the edges with khaki ink again, and then just cut a little notch in that, and that's about 2 inches wide. And then glued that here. Another one of the little cutouts, foam taped that. Added some more of these fuchsia jewel dazzles and those cute little butterflies. Here's another one of those little cutout card toppers. Inked the edges of that, glued it so that it was within this part. You don't want it sticking out here. And then just added another one of those jewel dazzle stickers there. All right, so let's talk about this decorated border. So I've got my butterfly. Oh, before we talk about the decorated border, how we are giving this away. All right, so we are promoting our Paper Wishes YouTube channel. So if you're watching us on our webisode page, if you expand the screen here, you'll see a YouTube icon. You click on that, it'll take you to our YouTube channel. We ask that you subscribe, you give this video a thumbs up, you like it, and leave us a comment. And then in about a week, we'll go back and reply to one of the comments saying, congratulations, YouTube username blank. So you got to know your username. That's the name that it pops up when you leave a comment, okay? So if you go back and read your own comment, you'll know your YouTube username. It'll have instructions on how to claim your card. It's a good idea to hit the notification bell so that you know when we announce a card, because we do giveaways Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday videos. So that's 3 chances a week. If you like, comment, and subscribe, you could do that for each video. And we also do about 6 videos a week from Paper Wishes, so definitely hit that notification bell. Yeah, we'll send you a beautiful card. So let me show you how I inked the edges of these. It was super, super simple, you guys. Let me get organized first. All right, little craft mat. And then I just took some scrap paper, all right, and I put it right here, and then I took a Post-it note. And the Post-it note is important for some kind of masking situation. And you're just gonna align this Post-it note with this card edge, okay? And then I have both orchid and violet ink pads, and I have the corresponding little daubers. You can get these in little packs like this. And then the first thing I did was just start with a little orchid. You're covering the back side of your card, so it's important to put that little scrap paper there. And then you could just go down and do all of the orchid ones one time. You can do these lightly, you can do these dark, and then just move all the way down. Now it's absolutely fine if you get some of the orchid color, in fact it's preferable, if you get some of the orchid color on the small butterflies. Okay, we're gonna do it like that. And now we're taking the violet color. And the reason it's preferable is it just sort of adds a little shading there. Okay, we've got little multiple colors. And then you can just add a little bit of the violet to the edge here. And because we've masked this side off, you can absolutely add it right there. And then you just go all the way down. It's really, really simple. Take your mask off, remove this, and then you have a nice clean edge. And it goes really quickly that way, okay? So you could do that on all of them if you'd like. And then you guys, I added those Jewel Dazzle stickers. But here's a little tip. When you get to this point right here and you've inked this entire border, and I did mine front and back, just repeating that same technique so it's pretty when you open it too. It's a good idea to take a hairdryer or a heat gun and go over these and get that ink nice and dry. Because when you try to attach Dazzle stickers to ink that is freshly applied, they just slip right off, okay? So if you're in a hurry, here's my tip. You can take your Dazzle stickers and get ready to place them. Mine are like attached 2 at a time here and 1 here. And then you could take some Cosmic Shimmer glue, which is our favorite paper glue, fill one of these little bottles. You can just lift these Dazzles up, put a tiny little dot of glue under each one, and they will not slide off your freshly inked card, okay? Otherwise, let this dry and then put your Dazzle stickers on, and then they're gonna stay. But I was in a hurry to get this done, and I was like, oh man, I don't have time to wait. So I just a tiny little bit of glue to put them down. That would be the only occasion that you would need to use adhesive with your sticker Dazzles. All right, so we've got that one done. Let's move on to this one. Oh, this one's so pretty that Debbie made. Look at this one, so gorgeous. Debbie used beautiful paper pack for this one. First, let me show you what it does. It just opens up like this, okay? So she took this one and she scored it right here. Let me give you the measurement on that. She scored it, if you're just measuring from the edge of this card and not the border, just from the edge of the solid card over, that is 2 inches over, okay? Scored that right there, and then she could fold it back. So she used some really beautiful paper here. She used her stained glass 12 by 12 pattern cardstock, okay? So that's where you get all of these little beautiful cutouts, but she used the back side of this one right here and glued that here, but first she matted it with that same plum glitter cardstock, and then here she took that large piece here and she used the coordinating solid cardstock, which I of course forgot to grab. She used that solid cardstock as her first mat, then the plum cardstock right here, and then she cut out more of this sort of purpley patterned paper and she glued that down. A strip right here of the glitter cardstock, and then this piece right here just got glued, okay? And then all the little cutouts, these right here are coordinating die cuts that go right there. She used this one, okay? And then these are cutouts, little greetings from the little greeting section right here. And then the dragonflies on the front, you guys, these right here, these are from the cutting dies, okay, that coordinate. They have dragons, dragonflies and butterflies. So she just used some of that cardstock from the solid cardstock, die cut the whole dragonfly, and then she die cut it again using, or did she do the wings? I gotta see. No, the whole dragonfly, and then just use just the wings. So cute, okay? Oh no, I got that wrong. She die cut the entire dragonfly from the glitter cardstock, and then she die cut the solid cardstock body from the solid purple, and then just glued that over. That's how that worked. And then you just glued just the body using, once again, this little fine tip glue bottle is handy, and glued that right there, stuck that there. Foam taped these down, okay? And then let's talk about this edge. This fantastic edge, she did the same inking technique that I did using blueberry ink on her beautiful little flower edge, okay? And then let me see, she did both sides. And then when she was done with that, she added, you guys, this astro paste, and this one is called Crown Me. It's this beautiful purple color. Look at that. Ooh. And she just used like a palette knife and just smeared some really on each of these flowers, and then make sure whatever you're putting behind it, like your craft mat, once you're done applying that, lift this up. Don't let it dry with excess on the craft mat. Lift it up, okay, and then just kind of go around the edges of it, getting any excess off the edges. Clean off your craft mat, because this stuff, when it dries hard, okay? And then let your flowers dry. And then she added lavender self-adhesive crystal stickers and put those right there. So pretty. Look at that. So it gives you an entirely different kind of card with just a little motion there. I love that. Good job, Debbie. All right, so the next one I've got, you guys. Oops, to get rid of all the stuff in my way. Look at this one. This is amazing. Look at this. Thinking of you. Open this up. Beautiful. So the ones with the stars and the flowers, you guys, the hearts are pretty much directional as well as the butterflies, but these you could turn them this way or this way, okay? So we have a nice horizontal card here. For this one, she used Steampunk. Let's see. This one is Steampunk for Everyone, 12 by 12 pattern cardstock. She used, oh, I can't see it on this page. Anyway, this cool little car, okay, with this guy, little gnome guy. And she also used the coordinating solid cardstock. And then this fantastic gold star holographic paper, all right? This is awesome. So let me show you this technique that she did. First of all, she started, let's start with the back, inside back of the card. She took her holographic paper and she put it right over the card like this. And then she shut this and then took a pencil, you guys, and she traced around the stars. Okay, she traced around the stars so that when she lifted this off, she could cut around them like this. And I know that sounds scary, but just using tiny scissors and going around those, they're all just kind of straight lines. So you're doing it clipping and clipping like this. It gave her this really cool mat that when she shut the card, it looked like that. I thought that is awesome. And then the stars themselves, she inked using that same technique I showed you, using Velvet Fawn, which is just a really nice tan color. And then in the center of those, of course, once the ink is dry, remember you have to like give that time to dry, she added Gold Star Dazzle stickers. They come in a 2-pack of gold and silver. And she added those to the center of each. All right, so now we've got the inside, you've glued this down, you've cut around your corners, cut around the edges of the stars rather. Then she just took a strip of this border paper, she matted one of those cutout pieces here, glued it, and then matted the cutout here with a little bit more of that holographic paper, and then just glued it across there. For the card front, covered the entire card front with that star holographic paper, then cut some of the matte paper. Then this one, she took the solid coordinating cardstock, matted it with gold holographic. You're probably going to need 2 sheets of gold holographic paper, and it's listed down below with the video. And then this piece right here, which is the cutout. And what I'm talking about with these topper cutouts that I've been talking about, how they fit so nicely, they come in your paper pack like this really nice sheet, easy to cut out. And then some of them are horizontal, some of them are vertical, but they look so nice when you just mat them, and they fit in this space so nicely. And then foam tape this piece. That's fantastic, right? All right, another card idea. All right. Oof, got so much on my desk. All right, for this one, you guys, look at that. Got the beautiful hearts. Open it up, there's Dazzle stickers here. It's really beautiful and well done. There's some die cut pieces right here with a cutting die. So let me tell you what Debbie used. To cover her front piece, so the front of the card, she used this actual paper pack from this paper pack called Watercolored Wildflowers, 12 by 12 patterned cardstock. Absolutely beautiful. She used on the reverse side of this, it has this border, but without the butterflies around it, and she just set that right. No, actually, I'm totally wrong. She used this side of it, Lene, and then placed her card just like that. That's the part that she's using right there. All right, and then she used the coordinating cutting dies along with the solid cardstock. So right here, this is a cutout from the paper pack. Has all these little greetings. She cut this oval out, glued it right there. And then she took these beautiful little flowers, these like daisy ones. She cut them out of this golden yellow and the orange, and then the dark green stems. And then before gluing them down, she inked the edges of the flowers using letterbox red, and like a dauber or even the little applicator tool works great too for that. And then glued these down. Look at the little butterflies that come from this collection. Right here, she added those as well. And then the stems at the top. All right, so then right here, how did she do this? You'll notice that suddenly these are overlapping each other with the colors. Instead of being inked like mine, they're overlapping. How did she do that? Okay, this is wild. Debbie took this, opened it up on the colored cardstock. She used, of course, yellow, pink, and blue. So just taking strips of each of those colors, she took her pencil, and then she went around this first one of the heart and then filled in the spaces like here and here, cut those out using her tiny scissors, glued them to the front of each one of these hearts, and then she used a dauber to ink the edges of them with vintage rose. Okay, so if you want to get this layered look, that's what she did. She went ahead and she traced them and she cut them out. That's because Debbie's extra when it comes to her card making, right? Fantastic. Yeah. And then Beautiful. I love how that all looks with that border, and then added these fancy Border Dazzle stickers. They come in a pack like this. So you have all these different colors. She's the gold. Really, really beautiful. Oh, I love what she did. All right, and then, oh, forgot, she added a little bow right here of our glimmer ribbon in that orange. Fantastic. Okay, you guys, we have a really great money saver on this collection. I think you can see that you can make your cards just like extra amazing, but also without doing a lot of extra work. You can ink them in different colors, embellish them. So we do have some shortcuts of just inking those, alternating the colors, and then covering your card with paper. That's the easier way to do it. That's the way I do it. Debbie is an amazing card maker. She is aspirational. So we gave you lots of ideas. Let's see, this is our giveaway card for this episode, so definitely participate in that. Don't forget, our money saver is right there on the right-hand side. If you look down below the video, you'll see full color photos of the cards and then all the items that we used if you're interested in just buying the inks or a paper pack. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, hi, subscribe. It really helps our small company with our channel growing. Just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that will take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. Thanks for joining me, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.